Hello students, welcome to the English class. Today we are going to learn the very first chapter among the short stories from your text treasure trove. The name of the chapter is Chief Seattle's Speech. Now student, just be careful that there is no article before chief and this is a speech, not a story as such. It is not a simple story. Actually, the orator is Chief Seattle, and Chief Seattle happens to be the promising leader and a great warrior of Squamish tribe. Now, he has been sent a proposal by the then president. The name of the president is Franklin Pierce. The year was 1854. The speech was given on 11th March, right? So, the proposal came to the Chief Seattle, and who has sent that proposal? The president, the then president, Franklin Pierce. Now, Franklin Pierce happens to be the 14th president of America, and Chief Seattle thinks that the president of America is George Washington. That means he is mistaking Franklin Pierce as George Washington, and he is continually throughout the speech he will think that the proposal has been sent by George Washington, and he will continuously address George Washington as good father, big chief, like this. Now, he will be addressing also the governor, the then governor Isaac Stephen, as governor of Washington, Isaac Stephen as white chief. Then he will address the white settlers as pale-faced brothers and the Native Americans as the red man, right? So, the proposal, what is the proposal about? We will first discuss and then start with the explanation of the paragraphs given over here. Firstly, you need to understand, student, that it is not a simple story. It is a speech, it is an elocution which is very profound, which needs an in-depth understanding. Here, you need to sink into the words uttered by the speaker, the orator, the Chief Seattle. You have to understand the feeling of this man, how he must have been feeling when his land has been taken over by the encroachers. Who are the encroachers over here? The white settlers. It is quite sad, student. Now, coming to the history, the Red Indians are the Native Americans. The land belonged to them. While the history says that Christopher Columbus discovered America. When he found these Red Indians, he mistook them as the Indians because he set to sail his voyage in search of a piece of land called India. I think students, in this way, through ages across the globe, the imperialists came and conquered the land of others and began to settle there. Now, what is the proposal that has been sent by the president, with the then president of America, that is Franklin Pierce, to the Chief Seattle? The proposal was to buy the land. The proposal says to the Native Americans that you need not have to leave the land and go away from here. We will give you a place. That means the movement of the Red Indians are getting restricted. They were no more free to roam about here and there, because if they are doing so, they will meet up with hostilities with the white. But after the proposal being accepted, what will happen? A peaceful agreement will reign in the land, and there won't be any further warfare between the white settlers and the Red Indians or the Native Americans. But try to understand, student, that it is a way of encroachment and taking away the land from them. This means actually that the Red Indians, which was land, which was theirs by birth, and hence by birthright they used to possess or to live on that land are now been taken away and given a small territory, a particular domain where they will live. Now, one more thing I would like to bring it to your notice, that this Native Americans, they were going through some difficult times, and they think that the time that is approaching, that is coming, is also going to be even more difficult to face. Now, that is why when Chief Seattle began his speech, he just took the reference of the nature, took the reference of the touch of the nature. Overall, we can say that these Native Americans, they were the people who actually were attached to the nature, fond of their land, environment, skies, valleys, mountains and rivers. So, student, in the onset of the speech, the chief says that we have lived on this land for 100 years and the sky above us there, out there, is the witness to that. So, you will come across this word yonder. Yonder means at some distance in the direction indicated, that is over there, right. So, he is referring to the sky, that the sky above us out there is the witness to that. The sky appears eternal, means he tried to say that we never thought that this situation will ever change, that their glorious past will fade away. But it is unfortunate that the situation is no longer the same. Today is good, tomorrow could be darker. That is what he meant by that today is fair, tomorrow it may be overcast with clouds. That is, today is good, tomorrow could be darker. Similarly, the native Red Indians have ruled the land for centuries and they thought their glory will continue, but unfortunately today they are rendered powerless. That is what has been projected or conveyed through the introductory sentence of the speech by Chief Seattle. Chief Seattle also adds that his words actually, the president, he is thinking that George Washington is the president, not Franklin Pierce. So, he is just trying to say that big chief, that is whom he is trying to address by addressing big chief, he was trying to address George Washington. He is thinking that he is the president and he has sent the proposal. So, he is saying, Chief Seattle says that my words you can rely upon, as if he is referring to George Washington and saying that you can trust my word, I do not go back upon my words. It is certain that today the sun sets, tomorrow it will rise again. So, also it may happen that the change of season, because the change of season is inevitable, students, they follow an unvariable pattern of order of change. So, Chief Seattle is referring to his speech as true as that, and he is saying that he is referring to George Washington and saying that he means his words George Washington can rely upon, right. And after this, student, we also find that he is saying that now the white settlers or the pale-faced brothers, they are actually not in requirement of the friendship of the Native Americans, because they are far more powerful than the Native Americans. They are numerous in numbers. So, he is saying that the white settlers are numerous in numbers and they are so many that they are like the grasses spreaded over the vast prairies. Now, what is meant by prairies? The prairies means a large open area of grassland in North America. So, he is saying that the white settlers are numerous in numbers, while the Native Americans are so few in number that they resemble the scattering trees over the plains where a storm has swept away many. So, he is saying that try to imagine, student, that when a storm sweeps away the land, then many trees gets uprooted and gets collapsed. few of them remain standing, and that has what exactly happened to the Native Americans through the warfare, through continuous fight and hostilities met up with the white settlers. Now the Native Americans means they are rendered powerless, they are few in numbers, they have reduced in numbers, they have lost their lives in the warfare. So, actually the white settlers do not need their friendship because these Native Americans are now powerless. That is what has been said by Chief Seattle. Now, Chief Seattle is saying saying to the governor Isaac Stephen, he is addressing him as white chief, as I told you, and is saying that the whites have offered them a piece of land and is not asking them to evacuate instead. So, the white settlers are allowing the red man to live there. They will be given a separate area or small portion where they can live comfortably. Actually, student, ironically Chief Seattle is just saying that in this way the governor is offering them just something in return. So, whatever he says we have to follow. That is what is Chief Seattle is trying to mean, that over here, see, it has been said that this indeed appears just, even generous. Why just and generous this appears, the proposal? Because the white settlers are now numerous in numbers, they are far more powerful than the Native Americans. So, in every respect, the white settlers do not need the friendship of the Red Indians, and sending such a proposal where they are allowing the red man not to evacuate the land, but to restrict their movement to a particular territory is a kind of a just and generous gesture. Okay, because the red man, according to Chief Seattle, no longer has the right that he needs respect. So, actually it is an anguishment, you can say, or a pain he was undergoing, that losing numbers in many and losing lives through warfare and rendering powerless, the Native Americans are in no position to receive respect. And that is why he is finding that the offer may be wise to accept the proposal, as we are no longer in need of an extensive country. That means the Native Americans have reduced in number. So, once the land was there, because there were many numbers, but now they have reduced in number, they do not need such a big country or a big land to live in. So, this is the explanation of the first paragraph.